Couple other really juicy topics. Dan Graziano says the 49ers are an intriguing option for Zach Wilson, Jets quarterback Zach Wilson, who has been given permission by the Jets. Joe Douglas said, young man, you've got permission to seek out a trade. If you acquire this player in a trade, he's going to have like a $5.4 million cap number. He's a free agent at the end of next season. According to the reports, Zach Wilson's looking for a skilled offensive head coach. Because he's hoping to revive his career. He's pointing at teams like the Rams with McVay and the Niners with Shanahan as teams that fit what he's looking for. How do you read the quarterback situation? Is Darnold coming back? Is he moving on? Is Brandon Allen coming back? Is he moving on? Is there any world that I saw the trade proposal that someone threw out there for Zach Wilson. It's like a 6th or 7th round pick. It's like a 7th round pick and Zach Wilson for like a 6th round pick. It's like, so basically you don't even have to give away a full pick. They're willing to just move up around from the 7th to the 6th and if you take Zach Wilson off their hands. We don't know how much Shanahan likes Zach Wilson. Personally, I kind of see things as they potentially can be and not necessarily as they are in the present. Other people see things as they are in the present and just don't ever, see anybody getting better down the road. But the reality is, there were a lot of Hall of Fame quarterbacks that weren't very good early in their career, including Steve Young with Tampa. I'm not saying Zach Wilson's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's awful. I'm looking at some of these young quarterbacks that were in that draft. Mac Jones, they're saying, is available for a 5th round pick. Zach Wilson for a 6th round pick. I'd almost rather take a shot on somebody who's failed from that 2021 draft as a backup than invest a pick in one of these rookies, who everybody thinks, every one of them, every year, everybody thinks that every rookie quarterback is going to be awesome. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
And then there's a failure rate that we know is built into the thing. And there's all kinds of these, Davis Mills and Zach Wilson and Trey Lance and Justin Fields. And you can trade for any of these guys right now. And you can get them for a relative pittance compared to what they went for on draft day. What do you think? If Zach Wilson wants to be a Niner, and you could get him for a 6th round pick or moving from the 6th to the 7th round. And he makes roughly the same as what Darnold made cap wise this year. Would you rather have Darnold back or you want Zach Wilson? I think if it came down to those two, I'd rather have Zach Wilson than Darnold back.
If between those two, I'd keep Darnold. He's been on the team for a year now. He knows the system. He's a veteran. I don't think Zach.
But is he good?
But Zach Wilson's not good either. I get your. I saw your.
I know, but I mean, Darnold is more officially not good, Wilson's more like he hasn't been good yet.
Zach Wilson still is looking for that goal. He may be able to develop. I don't want to have anything to do with Zach Wilson. That's a great price. Move up 6th round picks. Great, good for him. I love that for him. But I don't want Zach Wilson anywhere near this team. I don't want anybody from that draft class. I tell you what, Larry, that was probably the most astronomically terrible quarterback draft class because it was so hyped up. I remember that year because we traded up for number 3, and it was Trey Lance, Fields at 3, Mac Jones. Oh, can they get Trevor Lawrence? Oh, what about Zach Wilson? What if that draft class of quarterbacks? I just need it to be forgotten. I don't want anything to do with Zach Wilson. He's just immature. I just don't think he's going to be a good quarterback because of his mindset. I'm sure Kyle could probably do some tricks on him and maybe get him better. But we don't have time to waste. We got Brock Purdy. He's the quarterback. Make Sam Darnold your backup. It's simple. It's easy. Run it back with Sam Darnold. I don't hate the guy. I think he's a serviceable backup. He knows he's not a great quarterback anymore. He's not going to sit there and he's not in the fallacy of like, maybe I can be a great quarterback one day. Sam Darnold, I think, has accepted he's a good backup quarterback. I'll take him as the backup.
Yeah, I mean, he might fit your culture a little bit better. I just don't know if he's any good. And I think he's going to want to play at some point too. I think, whether it's, I mean, I don't know. I'm not super intrigued by either, which is going to lead me to my next topic after this one. But Trey Lance, according to Rich Eisen, may be the Vikings' next quarterback. He said that today on his show. Trey Lance has 4 career starts. He's 2-2. Niners traded him for a 4th-round pick to Dallas. Dallas picked up his $5 million option. Wouldn't pick up the 5th-year option. So for 22 mil, they're not fools. There's talk that they're going to trade him maybe to the Vikings. What do you think? Is Trey Lance ever going to be anything in the NFL, or do you believe that Trey Lance is a bust and is never going to be anything in the NFL?
I hope he gets one chance to prove himself, and that will determine everything. I hope he gets a chance. Minnesota will be good because he's a Minnesota boy. I think that would be perfect opportunity for him. Go out there if they can re-sign Justin Jefferson to a multi-year deal. Let's see if that could happen. But as of now, yeah, he's that whole draft class. Like I said, quarterback draft class is bust, man. Like to be honest, maybe Fields has a chance to right his wrongs. He's kind of been on a bad team. If he goes to Atlanta, maybe he can take that team to the playoffs and have some type of good career. But yeah, Trey Lance, I hope he gets an opportunity. It's not going to be with Dallas. They're going to bring back Dak unless Dak gets hurt. So maybe this is the opportunity he needs. There are some teams that need a quarterback. So maybe the Cowboys will look at some of these other teams. Atlanta, like I said, the Broncos just got rid of Russell Wilson today. Big news. So there are teams that are
I didn't see that. Was that in the last couple hours?
yeah, Russell Wilson officially. They said next Monday on the new league year, or next Wednesday, new league year. They're giving him the axe. They basically
Where's
said
he going?
maybe the Patriots or the Steelers. I can see the Steelers.
I could see maybe like New York Giants.
Yeah, the Giants.
Steelers, Giants, one of those two.
Yeah,
that makes sense to me. What do you think's going on with Russell? You think Russell has lost it? Do you think Russell was always just a product of that Legion of Boom and Marshawn and he's he's not worth the money, but man, I mean, he sure dominated the Niners all those years. I mean, he could just beat the Niners like with his eyes closed.
Sadly, yeah, he did. He owned us. I mean, I think he got a little older. He got a little washed. People figured him out. He's not the same quarterback, and I think Pete Carroll and that system really made him who he was. Like he hasn't been the same since he left Seattle, and unfortunately, I think a lot of his success was tied to Pete Carroll. And that team, they had some really good receivers on that team that he had. Marshawn Lynch, that offense, the Legion of Boom, the good defense, putting him in good position. I just think at the time he was in the right place, right time with Seattle, and now he's kind of regressed. He's gotten older, and just falling apart. Unfortunate for him. There was times though when he was with Seattle, like he'd have like a good start to the season, and then kind of sputter away. And I think that it just finally caught up to him. And I think Pete Carroll really was able to kind of mask his flaws. And again, he was younger. Now he's, not the same quarterback he was.
No, and man, the guy ran around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's maybe it got to him after a while. Maybe maybe he's because he was, to me, he was almost like the modern day Fran Tarkenton. And when I watch Brock Purdy, I see tons of Russell Wilson in Brock Purdy. I mean, as far as a competitor, the mobility, how he's got like this quickness that can't be really defined. Like you feel like you're going to sack Brock Purdy, and then he's like, "Oh, you're there? I'm going to get out of here," and he gets out of there. And it's like it's impressive to watch for sure.
Yeah.